Hello, my name is Jasmine Wyrick and I am your joy coach. And welcome back to my channel. I'm here to share how I took control over my life, and I want to share how you can do it too so we can all live our best and most joyful lives. Today, I will be sharing my 5 most impactful books, the books that changed my life. Most of these books I listen to on Audible, and this is not sponsored. I'm just a true Audible fan. And before we get into it, I just want to say, can you go ahead and click that follow button? That would really help me out. It really helps out my channel and it helps me to reach more people. So if you could just do that really quickly right now, that would be really awesome. So I'll also add that these are in no specific order, so let's go ahead and get started. The first life-changing book is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Chris Voss, if you don't know who he is a former FBI hostage negotiator, which is pretty badass. He is also the CEO of Black Swan Group, which offers negotiation services to individuals, teams, and also corporations. And he is, of course, the author of Never Split the Difference, as well as other books. So I listened to this book on Audible while I was commuting in and out of work, and there are the first thing that I love about this book is the narrator. It is not Chris Voss, but he has the most amazing, smooth DJ voice that I have literally ever heard, and it is everything. Secondly, and most importantly, the thing that I love about this book is that it really helped me to develop my negotiation skills. He is a FBI hostage negotiator, so who else would better know how to negotiate out of sticky and tricky and dangerous situations? But not only my negotiation skills, but my overall communication skills have just intensified because of this book. So the skills that he learned and used to negotiate with terrorists and other undesirable characters to save people's lives were expertly translated in this book and easy to utilize for just the everyday person like you and me who are not negotiating for anything dangerous, but maybe we just want a pay raise, or maybe we are trying to win a debate, or just have the other person on the other side of the conversation just hear us. And so these tips and tricks that he uses are just so easy to implement, and I just loved being able to try them out. And so I have personally taken these skills and I practice them over and over and over again, and I still use these tips today, and they are really helpful, especially in my 9-to-5 where I do business to business selling. And so getting the other person on the phone and getting them to not hang up within the first 5 seconds is really important. And thank you, Chris Voss, because you have really helped me to not get hung up on the majority of the time. I realize that you've been watching my YouTube videos, and I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel. I also realize that asking this is taking you out of the zone. That being said, I do work really hard to put this channel together and make it entertaining for you. And I believe it would be in both of our interests for you to subscribe, like, and comment on this video today. So if nothing else, we can keep this party going. It's a win-win for both of us. Sorry, let's go into book number 2. Okay, the second book that changed me is Take Control of Your Life by Mel Robbins. Okay, my girl Mel. She doesn't know, but she and I are actually like besties in my head. She is an ex-criminal defense attorney turned motivational speaker, which is, again, pretty badass. So she lives my dream life. She does TED Talks, authors books, both in Audible and print, Audible exclusives and in print, and she helps people. I mean, she is goals, like absolute goals. So Mel, if you're watching this, I love what you're doing. Keep it up. You're amazing. Take Control of Your Life is a collection of her coaching sessions and the transformations that you'll hear from her clients, real people in their everyday lives looking for help with Mel. I find that these transformations are inspirational, encouraging, and also motivating and courageous. To really step outside of yourself and to go to a coach, is one thing. To be honest, as these people are, and really seek help for yourself and make the changes. I mean, I resonated deeply with a lot of these stories. I've been in similar situations, and I was able to hear myself represented through some of these clients. And I think that that is going to be translated to a lot of different people. I actually heard recently that therapists say that a lot of people all have the same problems. And so I think that the stories that you hear in the coaching sessions in these books, I think that even if they vary a little bit, you'll be able to take some of her advice and apply it to your life. I don't often go back to books after I've read them, but this is definitely one that I will go back to and continue to go back to over and over again, because the information in there is just so helpful just to my day-to-day. The third book that I love is Lord of the Rings, a trilogy, a novel by J.R.R. Tolkien. I cannot tell you how much I love this book. Like, I'm actually geeking out about it right now because I am obsessed with the Lord of the Rings. Like, seriously, I love the story, and I have been in love with the story since I first watched the movie when it first came out about 20 years ago. I know that I'm dating myself, when I was 13. I just loved the way that the movie was shot. I believe that it is one of the rare stories that have all of the elements of a good story in it. I'm talking about the best ingredients that make an epic tale: adventure, romance, horror, triumph, courage, betrayal. Oh, it's so good. I cannot, like, I really can't. Okay, this book is just so much better than the movie. Like, when I tell you, like, it is enormously long, like all three of the books. And I'm talking about all three of the books. I'm not talking about just the Fellowship and the Two Towers and Return of the King as separate components. When I talk about my love for the Lord of the Rings, I watch them all at the same time, like all of the movies at the same time, one after the other, because that's the complete story and I want it all. And reading the book is one complete story. And so I will reference Lord of the Rings. I'm talking about all three novels compacted into one. It is a full and amazing story. It gives me life. I live for it. So I also heavily identify as a hobbit. In my spare time, I think that the idea of eating, growing plants and gardening and, smoking is just the most absolute life, even though I don't smoke anymore. But I mean, what better way to live a life? A simple, wonderful life. I think the thing that really impressed me about this book and the trilogy of books was that although they are massive, I actually just couldn't put it down. And I don't think it's because I have a deep obsession with the story. I think it's because just the writing is so good. Even when I was reading it at bedtime, or getting ready for bed, and I was reading it and I knew that I was sleepy, but I could not put it down. I really felt like I was transported into Middle Earth. I really felt like, I could see the environment, I could smell the food, I could hear the conversations. I was invested in Frodo and Sam's journey. I really wanted just to see them all the way to the end. Such a good book. The fourth book is Unfuck Yourself by Gary John Bishop. Born in Scotland, Gary John Bishop is a leading personal development expert, and as the title of his book suggests, he is determined to get everyone together as directly as possible. Come on, Gary. I would describe this book as a verbal ass kicking, and while I did feel personally attacked many times, I was able to move past that and really take in the message that he was giving. I really had to put my personal feelings aside and just be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I do that. And just really listen to the message, internalize the message, and act on the message. I think the most important thing that I got out of the book was that I needed to stop standing in my own way. And so Gary's verbal lashings were very important in helping me just go ahead and move aside so I can live my best life. I do really like this book because of Gary's very direct way of digging past the surface and getting to the bones of why people think the way that they think, and tend to really overthink their way out of greatness. I have been, and sometimes still am, forget it, I am people. I'm people. I tend to overthink, and sometimes I can get into the way of my own greatness. Hi, my name is Jasmine. I am people. And as people, I really appreciated this book. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. The fifth and last book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits is the complete opposite of Unfuck Yourself. In fact, it is the kinder and more patient version of personal development. And while I found both books to be completely helpful, thoughtful, and entertaining, I did feel like Atomic Habits was more of a handheld approach to personal development. And I really feel like he gave you the keys to unlocking the how-tos onto creating those good habits and ultimately improving your life. This is the most recent book that I read. I think that I'm currently reading another book, but I think that this was 2 books ago that I read, and it's really very still fresh in my mind. And so a lot of the habits that he talks about, or a lot of the methods that he talks about in not really making goals for yourself, but more of creating systems that help you achieve the goals that you want for your life. I'm actually using those right now, and it is very helpful, especially in terms of me working out. That just implementing those tools have really helped. One of the practices, or maybe not practices, but maybe principles that he uses is doing tiny incremental changes daily so that you become 1% better every single day. I think that approaching changing a lifestyle in that way is incredibly helpful, because people are more often able to do really small changes instead of feeling like they have to eat the whole cake at one time. You know, cut yourself a slice off, enjoy it, and then move on. I think that his practice is simple. I think that it's also challenging, and it just works. I've used what I've learned in this book to start exercising regularly 2 months ago, and I've been consistent, and now I'm working out about 4 to 5 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes at a time, and I feel and look so damn good. Okay. So that is my list of the 5 books that have changed my life for the better. And I recommend any and all of them to you all that are listening and watching this video today. All of these books are also available on my favorite formats, Audible and Kindle. I'm not so much of a physical book reader. I just I'm a little bit of a hoarder, like a greedy little mole or something. What are those things that live underground and hoard all their treasures? That's me, but with books. So I like my Kindle because I like taking all of my books with me wherever I go, because I like rotating. Sometimes I'll get tired of reading a book and I like to change it up a little bit. And so having my Kindle with me, I'm able to just pause on a book and switch over to another book. And then Audible, I can just listen as I'm doing the dishes or exercising or commuting or driving or whatever. It's a very versatile way to get information, an entertaining way to listen to a book as well. If you have enjoyed our time together, I encourage you to head over to that thumbs up button and also that subscribe button. And I encourage you to press them both because, let's keep this going. I think that we've built a great rapport after this, and, I would hate for us to go to our separate ways. You can also find me on Instagram at Jasmine Y. Wyrick. I'm going to post that right here. You can leave me a comment here, or you can also send me a DM. I love to hear from you. So, okay, that is it. And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.